Well, good morning everybody. I say good morning because it's just before 7 AM and we've got a little bit of a course vlog for you. However, we are going back somewhat 20 to 25 years because in this golf bag is my old college golf bag. Yes, I will go through what's in the bag for you as we work our way through this vlog. However, today is a break par series. Can I finally actually break par around this golf course, and will these golf clubs get me round in the score that I'm looking for? Beautiful day, there's not a great deal of wind. Today could be the day that we break par. Let's get out there. Oh my lordy, here we go then. Now, it's 240 yards off this back tee to this par 3. However, that pin is tucked right in on the back there. And as you can see, it's a bit dewy out here, so it's not going to run a great deal. So I'm going to go with driver, old school driver. And we're going to literally cross our fingers and hope for the best, because I should have probably gone to the range with these to get an idea of how they work, but let's give it a go. Oh yeah, that's a slider. Oh, it's going to take me, I reckon, a good few shots to get an understanding of how they're reacting, how the flight is, but that was a little slider to get us going. Chip and a putt, we'll make a par. One thing I haven't told everybody is we're at Churston Golf Club today. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning. I've absolutely short-sighted myself in this position here because that pin, well, it's right in the middle of the green, but it's right in the center point, but it's at the back. So I'm going to try my hardest to just try and hit the green, because you're kind of coming into the narrowest part of the green here. Go hard. Oh, it didn't need much more, did it? Cool, chop that out of there with the old ping sandwich. Right, we are going to go lift, clean and place today because we are kind of moving into the winter. Sadly, we're moving into the winter months, aren't we, in the UK? So I will get into that frame of mind of lift, clean and place. Greens look absolutely amazing. You know, I'm never too unhappy. Those of you who have watched me around here before, never too unhappy with a 4 at the first. Go. Oh, that wasn't bad, was it? That wasn't bad. I'll tell you the first thing I've noticed with this putter, just hitting a few putts on the putting green, and then the first strike that I've just hit there, there's not a lot of MOI to it. As in, if you don't get out of the middle, you're getting a little bit of a slower ball speed off the face, shall we say. Feel a little bit of twisting off of it as well. Anyway, 1 over par, not a bad start. Always take it. Right, 377 off this back tee. Second hole. Requires a little bit of a fade if you can get one down there, to be fair. Up the left, let it drift back, which I think after what we saw off the first, we shouldn't be a problem with this club. All it needs is one decent drive, and then we've got some confidence going. Cool, that wasn't bad. Oh, I wouldn't call it out the screws because it's not that old, but that felt more out the screws. Right, I'm trying out the new Precision Pro rangefinder. I'd never even heard of this company before. However, it's pretty quick, 145 yards. Using slope as well, which on the top there, you turn it on and off depending on what events you're playing in. We don't worry about that. So it's 1 yard uphill. 146. I mean, you'd like to think that I should be able to nudge a 9-iron there, shouldn't you, from this position here? So let's give that a whirl and see how we get on. Oh, I do like that move. Get left bit. Why is that drifting right on me? Oh crikey, that's way short. That's really short. I didn't think I was going to be coming up. What do I have? 145. 145. It's landed about 130. Didn't think I'd be that short, but anyway, we're getting used to the clubs, aren't we? I had 145, didn't I? Playing 146. 20 paces short. So it's got 125 yards for a 9-iron. It's got to be the fact that it's just so early. Right, come on, I could do with an up and down here. This is a little sand wedge from the side. Push it forward, just land it on the green if I can, and then hopefully let it release down towards the hole. We need a little bit of a skip first bounce, really. Oh, sit down, sit. Wow, it come out so hot from there. I want to say I read that as that went past, you know, which I always think is quite a good thing, but it went past at such a rate of knots, it's not going to make much of a difference. Okay, Plumb Bob telling me that I'm just a little bit outside of that left side. It's definitely moving off that left side from there. Go, right on line, wasn't it? Right on line. Okay, little misjudgment with that 9-iron in. Probably could have hit an 8-iron in there. So with that in mind, it's another bogey. We are 2 over par. We got some work to do this morning, some serious work. Right, this is you know, one of the toughest holes on the course, really, because it's 4, even though it's 440 yards off this back tee. But you got to get it shaping a little bit from left to right, or what I like to do is shape it off the trees a little bit, off that sort of left side in towards the fairway. Yes, that's the shape that we want all day with this club if we can get it. Down the right hand side with a little bit of draw. It's just going to give me a little bit more out of it if we can get it going like that. But you've got to really focus your mind on the strike, you know, that's the important thing here. Really important with these old clubs. I'm just lift clean in place, and I'm taking the dew off the ball, the water off the ball, because that can create a little bit of inconsistency and get you almost like a little bit of a flyer. But then I'm thinking about it, actually that might not be a bad thing for a little bit of help this morning. Okay, this is a challenging golf course today. It seems like all the pins are kind of right at the back. So 200 yards, but downhill by 200 yards, but downhill by a few yards. So I'm hitting a 4-iron. I mean, it feels like such a lot of club, but considering what the 9-iron did on the last, I can't hit a 4-iron because you got to allow for a little bit of ground help here. It's going to land on a bit of a downslope, and it's wet, so it should skid. Come on, let's hit a 5-iron and be committed to it, shall we? I'm not committed to that. It's out to the right. Sit. Okay, we're all right. This is tough today. This is tough. When you're this far back, it's just, you got to be so precise, haven't you? We're going to do a little what's in the bag on the next tee for you, so you can have a bit of a glimpse as to what we've got going on in this golf bag. But we are a little bit buried here, and this is not the place to miss it. In fact, there's not many places good to miss it on this green, but this is definitely not one of them. I'm going to try and open the face up a little bit. Try and get a little bit of a higher, more floating shot if we can out of this lie. And again, hope for the best. It's come out a bit hot. Sit down. Sit. Hold yourself. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. That's not bad. Honestly, it's not a bad shot there. Leaving it a little bit below the hole. More of an uphill kind of putt from there. And a chance for a par. Tough start, isn't it? Really tough start. Fairways and greens are what you need. Fairways and greens. Get right. Oh. That had to keep coming. It really straightened up right at the end. Okay. I don't feel like I'm doing a massive amount wrong. I'm just a bit average, aren't I, at the moment, this morning? And I think you could add on quite a few yards onto some of these holes because of the fact it's freezing cold. It's also wet. There's a lot of excuses coming out of my head at the moment, isn't there? Huh? Come on, DH, pull yourself together. Here they are then, the bag. Right, let's start off with the putter, okay? We've got the Ping Answer 2. Now this is the copper version, or the beryllium, is it? Beryllium made. Super sort of retro-y style putter, but ultimately this was like the original, I think, of the Scotty Cameron Newport 2 is the one I'm using right now. So all in all, it doesn't feel a great deal different. It's very light in comparison to what I use. It's probably about 35 inches in length, so it's a little bit longer than what I use, but it's also a little bit more upright than what I use as well. So either I've got a little bit shorter, or I was standing a little bit taller when I was playing my college golf. Driver wise, the driver we're using, this is the Titleist Titanium, the 975D. It's an 8.5 degrees. In this particular one, we've got the S300 shaft. I would have used things like X100s in the past as well, and I had a couple of different graphite shafted ones of these, so there was a few different ones floating about at that time. You need to get some speed when you're hitting that driver, because you know it's a steel shaft. Then you've got the 3-wood, which is my old trusty, really. It's probably replaces my 5-wood, replaced it really, because it's the Mizuno T1 3-wood. It's the one that Faldo used for years and years and years, I remember. They did a few different models of the T-Zoid, but this was hot. You know, this was a good club back in the day. A lot of players had it in the bag. Again, all steel shafts, aren't they? Then I literally run from pitching wedge right the way through to 3-iron and 2-iron, the Callaway X16 Pro Series irons. And when I picked these up used, they were second hand in the Edwin Watts shop in Orlando. That's where I picked them up from, and I don't think you can see it any. Oh, you can. Look at the 3-iron. Can you see right at the top there? There's that green mark in one of the grooves. I don't know if you should be able to see that, but that green mark indicates that these irons are a little bit flatter. If you had it in, it was like I think it must have been their like color code that they had, because whether somebody made that as a color code or that was how it was, certainly how I purchased them anyway. Then I had a Ping I2 sand wedge. Now this was kind of a classic, really, wasn't it? Loads of people had these. Now, interestingly, my brother had a set of Ping I2s back in the day, and he had the plus, I think they were the plus sign on them. They were the old square grooves. Now he sent them back and had the grooves completely rechanged or changed around to make them legal. So the old square grooves were illegal. I think there's I mean, I don't see that there would be a massive problem nowadays with having those sort of grooves, don't know, but anyway, it used to get a lot more spin and control. I used to have a Cleveland lob wedge in the bag as well, one of the old Clevelands, 60 degreer. Can't find that, don't know where that one ended up. So this is my setup that we're trying to break par with this round. However, 3 over par, we've got some work to do. 155 yards, so 150. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go old school, really old school, okay? Even though these Callaways are quite powerful, to be fair, you know, they're way ahead of their times. They're very traditional in their loft, so this 7-iron will be probably what, 35 probably degrees in loft, I would think. 34, 35, which is kind of your standard nowadays. So I'm gonna go more traditional at the moment. I'm gonna go with like 150 my 7-iron. Everybody that comes in for a golf lesson says that, but I'm gonna play it as that. Whereas like a modern 7-iron would probably be around 160ish, something like that nowadays. So let's start playing some decent golf. Let's try and get this new move going as well, because I was really working nicely on that in the lounge. Everything's out to the right, isn't it? Everything is out to the right. Oh, DH this morning. It's not a great swing. The swing's a little bit, needs sorting. Whew. I've hit a tree and dropped down a little bit short of this trap. So, I don't remember ever being here before, to be honest. Not this far short, anyway. Okay, back to the old sand wedge. You'd think with these square grooves on this sand wedge that we'd have a bit more spin. Probably a bit wet, isn't it? Be lucky. Oh, sit. tell you what, it's hot. The sand wedge is a hot sand wedge because it does pop out nicely through the grass. Another chance for a par. Another one of these lengths that I got here, haven't I? Another 15, 20 footer for par. Oh, golf is seriously tricky. Oh, DH, scared you. This, ever since I had that massive putt down that hill, this green has really kind of scared me. 4 over through 4. When I went to bed last night, that's not what I had in my mind. I was thinking, do you know what? I'm going to shoot under par today. I'm going to put these clubs in my bag. Rethinking that one. We got 5 birdies to pick up now. 5 birdies. I need this ground to dry out like super fast, really quickly, and then it needs to get massively downwind on every single shot that I hit today. And I need to find this little draw that I had down the 3rd, and I got to rip it over the top of that marker pole, and then we are flying. Go on then, DH, get up there. That was lovely, that. Do you know, it felt a bit dead off the face. I don't know, it seemed to fly like it should fly, powerful and forward. But it might be one of those little marshmallow shots that's just got over that little mound up there. We'll see. The teasoid is out. Now I've only hit this a couple of times in the net because we had a little bit of a challenge this week in the net, and you may have seen that in the on a Sunday morning show previous. So this is going about the same yardage as my 5-wood, which is a maximum of around 220 to 225, I would say. It's a really short shaft. It feels tiny. Come on, let's rip one down there. Oh yeah, right out the heel. It's going forward, which is good. Down the left-hand side, there's a couple of trees down there, which are a slight concern. However, we hopefully, if we can avoid those, we've then got a decent shot in from that angle. Could be a good one. Great angle in. However, 76 yards. The ideal scenario is that I want to keep this just a little bit short of the flag, if I'm honest, but then the flag's only just on the green. So if I can just keep it a little bit short left, that would be absolutely perfect for this shot. Get lucky, please. Sit. There's just no stop this morning, is there? Absolutely no stop. I mean, I've executed that pretty much spot on, and my normal clubs, let's say, I'd expect it to grab on like the second bounce, but it's just so wet this morning that there's no grip. Anyway, chance of a birdie, which is rare. We will take it. Maybe this is the turning point for this game. Rock that in. We only need 4 more. Some tough pins out here today. I mean, to be fair, they're all tough at Cherson because they're all on massive slopes, as you've all seen in the past. But it's a bit of a challenge with these pins. You don't want to get too excited because these balls will run away from you. Swinging out the left heavily down towards the sea. Go on, down you go. Catch that slope and go down. Oh. Right, let's take the positives on this, all right? That is the first par of the day where we're not moving backwards. We've plateaued, which is good. However, we do have the stroke index 1 hole coming up next, which is a long par 4. It's probably going to require a couple of drivers to get anywhere near the green. 450 plus yards, this par 4. Like I said, we're going to need a big un, followed by a big un. Do we have big uns in it this morning? Do we have that? The other thing I haven't mentioned as well is a lot of the grips that I've got going on here are 20 years old. So, you know, rubber doesn't really... The sand wedge is hilarious. I'm hanging on for absolute dear life for that sand wedge. It's got more cracks in the grip than rubber, I think. Oh, it's a little cutty, but I could have done with it in the fairway there, really. I could have done with actually hitting a bit of a slinger, but it'll do us. We got a bird's eye view towards that green. Might just keep this club out because possibly maybe needing it again if I've got a decent lie. So I figured that actually whilst we're out here and we're using my old college bag, I'd tell you a little bit about my college days. So I ended up at Weber International University, which was the #1 business college out in Florida. I wanted to be in Florida because of the weather. We did loads of little holidays out there over the years, you know, going to Florida, so it was quite an area that I really wanted to experience for college golf, I suppose, and the weather's fantastic and all of that. So I ended up at an NAIA school, which is probably the equivalent of NCAA Division 2, probably. And I had the most amazing experience because it was an international university. A lot of the people that I kind of hung out with, or my friends, or roommates, or you know, teammates, they were international students, very similar to me, all in the same boat. So a lot of homesickness and things like that. Even, you know, when we're in your young sort of early 20s, you still get a little bit of that when you're across the pond. So it was quite cool because you had that feeling that everybody was doing, you know, was looking after each other, you know. So there was a lot of positives to be taken from that. So that's the university that I went to, and had 3.5 years at college golf out there. Oh, okay, right. I've had a rethink. So my first thoughts was 3-wood. I don't think I can get 3-wood there. It's a long hole today. I'm looking at all the water that is short of that green. 8.5 off the deck. This is brave. I mean, this would have been brave when I was 20. This is brave when you're in your 40s. Come on, let's get some speed up. Little slider off the left, up towards that flag. Oh, I've done exactly what I've asked it to do. Go on then. Oh, sit down. Crikey. That's the best shot I've ever hit. Best shot I've ever hit. I definitely wasn't hitting shots like that when I was in my 20s. Definitely not. Wow, I can't see the end result of it, but that looks like I'm putting for a birdie again. I think there's a change. There's a change in the wind. Look at me. It's almost like I knew what I was doing there, you know? That's what it feels like. Got to show you this. So Elijah Craig are the official bourbon suppliers for the Ryder Cup. So 2025 Ryder Cup. Look at that. Elijah Craig official bourbon 2025 Ryder Cup. Little ball marker. I did. Well, they asked me to attend a little show up in London. I'll be brutally honest. I'd never heard of Elijah Craig. I saw that a couple of the tour players had used or drank their bourbon. I like Crown Royal. That's what I used to have in my college days. Fun enough. Well, whilst we're talking college. But I used to have a little bit of Crown Royal, bit of generally it was Diet Coke. I didn't want to have didn't want it too sweet. So, but anyway, Elijah Craig, they've sent me a bottle because I couldn't attend their London event. So they sent me a bottle and I did a little Instagram for them, and I'm probably halfway through the bottle now because I've enjoyed it so much, you know. I want this to go in so badly because what a birdie this will be. Stroke index 1, driver, left myself with a little uphill putt, swinging out the right. It's all happening. Oh, I've yanked it. Oof. I've blimmin' yanked it. That's that low MOI thing going on there with the old putter. God, that was a shame. But you know, if you took me on that tee and you said, right, Dan, I'm going to give you a par and you can run away, I'd take it. However, I will be telling the grandkids about that little driver off the deck. Come on. Oh, I'll tell you what, for those of you who used to watch me back in the day, back in the old day, I used to get my driver like across the line here. Now, with what feels like a frozen shoulder, where am I? I'm not even halfway back. Come on, we need a draw. If ever there was a draw hole, if ever there was an Oximity hole, this is the Oximity hole. Yeah, not bad. We're getting there, aren't we? We're getting there. That's good. Like, that is good. Up the top of the hill, leave myself a little wedge in, and off we go. I'm just clearing out some of the lucky muck that's been in here for probably years. 117 yards, but downhill playing 112. Oh, this is one of the original grips, look. I'm pretty sure I didn't use this wedge. I'm pretty sure I had like a Cleveland wedge or something like that back in the day. That's why the rest of the grips are done differently to this one. But I mean, there's not a lot of grip on that, if I'm honest. That is actually, that's pretty bad. That little tip for all you at home: if you do feel like your grips are just going a little bit, hot soapy water. So get a bucket of hot soapy water, like a nail brush, like a scrubbing brush. Just scrub them. There you go, tacky. Let's give them a scrub. But that means they are on their way out, to be fair. So, okay, pitching wedge, just a smooth one. I don't want to get too excited with this because you don't want to be flicking it over the back of this green. It's just a nice. This is 46-degree wedge, so this should be fine. Oh, please get past that hump. Yeah, it did. Okay, we're playing some golf now. We're leaving ourselves some putts for birdies. Anyone see that divot go anywhere? Comments down below. I've lost it. I've lost that divot. Same putt. Literally feel like I got exactly the same putt as what I had on the last hole. And all I have to do is keep the pace up. If I can keep the pace up and get it, make sure you get it past the cup. Come on, get it past the hole. No. God, that snapped. These greens are so hard. They are so hard. If you can master these greens, you can shoot some good scores, but you've got to hold putts around this golf course, and oh, that was a bit heartbreaking, those last two putts. Anyway, moving on. So, good news and bad news. Good news is, I feel like I've steadied the ship. But bad news is we've got onto the 8th hole, which is, you see, I always think that the 8th hole is designed for a really kind of like a high lofted iron. Over the years they've extended the tee back, and we've now got 168 yards, which is 6 iron. I can't remember the last time I hit a 6 iron into this hole, so it's not overly designed for that, but I've got to get away from that thought, that mindset, and focus on getting it on the green and leaving myself with a putt. This is not a birdie hole, this is literally a par hole and run away. That was not what I was planning. That's going to be a bunker there. The good thing is I've not had a go with that sand wedge out of a bunker for 20 years, so that'll be nice to see how it performs with the modern bunker. So some of you are probably thinking, what is Dan doing with a Bass Pro Shop hat on? Well, I used to have a Bass Pro Shop hat when I was at college. I don't know how old Bass Pro Shop is, but we definitely had them. We were, you know, we were all wearing the old truckers caps back in the day. And when I was at the PGA show this year, we nipped into a Bass Pro Shop and I found the hat. I thought, do you know what, I'm going to use that. I'm going to wear that in a vlog at some point, and I feel that this is the right vlog for that to be on my head. That is why we're in Bass Pro Shop hat today. Hello everybody, this is the trap that I've found myself in. Not, you know, being honest, it's not the hardest bunker shot in town, but the problem I've got, which makes it really hard, is I've got to just get it out because it's going to all run down. It's massively downhill to that cup. So let's see if we can just get a little bit of a splashy and then just release it down. No spin on that. Oh, it is. It checked on me. Sit down. Sit down. Steady. 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 Okay. It is what it is. You can't do much about that. That was a difficult, really difficult bunker shot. and you need probably a lob wedge to get any sort of like, well, you need the higher sort of steeper descent angle coming in to there, so it's all right. Funny little putt this. It feels like it should go this way, but then it feels like when you're really down low that it's not a lot in it. But again, massively uphill. Got to keep the pace up. Just want to see it. It almost like feels like it wants to go left on me. It went right on me. Damn. Oh. 5 over. Oh dear. 2 pars, 5 bogeys through 8. Okay. Hopefully you're still with me, because I'm going to make some birdies out here. Hopefully you're not shut off because I'm 5 over par. I've not shut off, so you should be well and truly dialed in with me. 2 iron. Come on, you beauty. I'm going with a 2 iron down the 9th off the tee, which is what I would always used to hit. Let's see how this one does. Oh, it's a little hooky. Get down. Yeah, it's in the fairway. Felt good. Like you know, we talk about technology, don't we, with golf clubs, and don't get me wrong, like Callaway was so far ahead of their time back in the, you know, late 90s, well, 90s and 2000s. It was so far ahead of the time. It's such a forgiving iron. All right, yes, it's got more loft on it, but actually for a lot of golfers, I actually think the extra loft is going to give lots of players more control. I've got 149 yards with the slope, so playing probably a couple of yards uphill. I'm going to go with 8 iron. I feel like as the day's going on now, we're on the 9th. We should be warming up a little bit. It's 8:30 in the morning, or just before. Let's see if we can get one up there and give ourselves a look at another birdie, shall we? Down the right hand side again, DH. Everything's weak and right, and I don't know why. Okay, miss green, chipping a putt. Come on. So you talk about psychology in golf. I do remember, you know, when you think back about some of those moments in your life where possibly there was a shift in how, whether you were a positive golfer or a non-positive golfer. When I went to university for the first time, I remember coming back from university. I'd had a decent season, my first season, but I felt this enormous amount of pressure because there wasn't many people that went to university in America back in the day. So I felt this huge amount of pressure on me that I'm a college golfer in America. It was like everyone was talking about it, and I felt like I should have been a better golfer than I was when I kind of came back, if that makes sense. And that definitely was the first sort of mindset of like, oh, you know, expectation levels are up. And probably at that point is when I should have started maybe seeing someone about all of that and talking about it a little bit more. But definitely that was the first time I remember pressure, real pressure on me when I came back home from the first semester. Okay, I have absolutely short-sighted myself here, haven't I? I've not got a lot of confidence in this sand wedge when it comes to control and spin, so I'm just going to see if I can just land it on the fringe and let it release out down towards that hole. That's it. Nah, gone. The problem is you're coming out of rough, it's wet, you got no spin at all, absolutely nothing. And I know I've landed it here as opposed to where I probably wanted to land it, but just I'm better off putting that, if I'm honest. Better off putting it. Hardest game of golf I've ever had to play this. You can see the shots. You can see every single shot that you've got to play, and you can't execute it. You can't. It comes when you look up and the ball goes. You don't see it going in the direction that you had in mind. And that is a real psychological challenge, isn't it? Another long old putt for par. Oh dear, this has gone not to plan at all. In fact, That is another bogey. So we turned that 9 holes with 3 pars and 6 bogeys. 6 over par. If golf was this hard, I think I'd struggle to play. I really would. If it became this much of a challenge. Oh, come on, DH. The back 9 turn. The back 9. Right. So I remember playing a pro-am here, right? And I remember the pro we were playing with, and he was, I think he was 4 or 5 over coming out. And I remember us playing with him thinking, anyway, he shot 6 under on the back 9. So it's possible, you know, it's possible. However, I do think we need to get as close to these greens as we possibly can coming in, because that's what's going to give us that chance of getting up and down and making those birdies. So we're going to go with driver off the 10th. Probably back in the day I wouldn't hit driver, but today is that day. Get down, hit down on that line. It's all right, it's gone about as far as my 5 would, so that'll actually be fine there, absolutely fine. 79 yards we've got. So it's my little sandy again. It's not dissimilar to what I had into that par 5 5th. Keep it just below the flag and let it release up. Should get a bit of a hop, skip and a jump forward, because that's all it's done all day. I assume that's okay. I can't see the end result. It might be a smidgen short, but I don't think we're too bad there. Just thinking, like, there's a lot of things happening in my old college days. You know, I putt cross-handed. Well, this was, again, you talk about the psychology and stuff like that. It was when I got on the greens over there, and this is where, you know, when we talk about Ryder Cups and things like that, you see the players get out-putted by the Americans a lot of the time. Well, because we're just not used to those sort of speeds of greens, because obviously our greens run at like anything between 7 and 10 maximum, really. They're always running at 12, 13 at times, always running at those speeds. So I started like struggling with my putting. I actually putted into a bunker once, and that was the turning point. And I moved from a kind of completely conventional, normal putting, got the yips with that action because of probably the pace of the greens, got really anxious and nervous, and that's where I moved into the cross-handed, which I've had basically ever since. Have that on your pancakes. Have some of that. Here we come, back 9. 1 under on the back 9. Let's go. I have never been this fired up. It's been a long time since I've been this fired up. And I'm fired up because I just think, you know, is it possible? Is it possible? You know? Can we just rocket in a few birdies, which will give us that opportunity? That's another fairway. Come on then. Go on then. Get down there. Come on. Let's go. Drive of the day for me, that one. Love that. Great flight. Not a lot of shape on it. A little slider from left to right, but not a lot. Left me 88. 88 yards. Green light. I want a nice kick forward. Kick forward, don't stop. How is that dug in? Go on. The only time this club has dug in, expecting a little release. However, the pin's on the front. I've still lost the divot. There it is. I think that's it. It's a divot anyway. Come on. Birdie me up. Just a little swinger out of the left-hand side. Working in. Weak. Oh, it's weak and low all the time, wasn't it? Weak and low the whole way. Damn. That was a shame, wasn't it? Great drive. I would say a pretty good second shot. Just got a bit unlucky. I was playing for more of a release. Just a poor putt, poor strike, poor putt. 12th hole then. Now, got to get through this hole. This is the key hole really on the back 9. If if you can get through it, you know, you've got, if you can make a par and run away with a par, then you've got chance on 13, you've got par 5 chance on 14, you've got a chance on 16, and then a chance on 18. So, you know, what's a good score out here today at 5 over par, stood on the 12th tee? Probably 3 over, I would think. Get on top of the fairway and then release, because I've got it right in the tip. Oh yeah. That went a lot further than I was expecting, if I'm honest. It was a little bit out of the toe, which is kind of my norm, but it seemed to really shoot on when it landed. A little bit of a low spin bomber, I would say. Chances. So another thing that talking about psychology and things like that within the game of golf, another thing that I was going through, and clearly your kind of late teens, early 20s is a real developing time for the mind. For the last 2 years of university when I was out there, that 2-iron played a lot of the golf that I was playing, because my college coach would drive around in a buggy like this and have my 3-wooden driver sat in their buggy, because I used to put it in there because I didn't want to have the chance of pulling it out and hitting it, because I was going through, you talk about the yips with putting, I was so bad off the tee that I had the yips when I was hitting my driver, and I would literally stand there and hit it so far wide, and you know, but I still managed to feature in like top 5s and top 10s in tournaments with just a 2-iron and my irons right the way through the bag, which was amazing, really. 165 yards we're left with, which is a lot, isn't it? I'm on the 150 marker, so you'd play it at 150 to the middle, but the pin is right in the back shelf, back right corner. So I'm going to try and hit a little, like a 6-iron, and I start it kind of, well, I just want to put it in the middle of the green, really, but I'm playing for a little bit of a cut, if I can get one. Keep cutting, baby. Funny flight on that ball. Yeah, right club, absolutely right club. I got a little bit of cut. It didn't move a lot, but at one stage when I looked up, I thought, oh, that's sliding back towards the flag. But middle of the green, which is all I wanted to do. Starting to get a feel of these irons now. They feel so soft off the face. And you think for a game improvement iron, they shouldn't feel like that, but they do. When I was on the tee thinking, right, let's get away from here, let's make a par and run away, I'm sniffing a birdie. That's what I'm doing. I'm sniffing an outsider, an outside chance of a little rocket ship ping answer to bomber. It's the bottom of that cup, is what I'm thinking. Oh! Just kept going. I thought, oh, it's going to straighten up, and go in. And then it just kept wanting to move down that side. Oh, there's a little spider in there. Honestly, I mean, great chance for birdie, but you're going to take your par and you're going to run away from this hole every single time. Stroke index 2. Great question. Joe just on cameras just asked me, what, you know, the game of golf, how it's shifted, and we have gone back 25 years. Some of the clubs in that bag are even older than 25 years old. And the game, yes, it changed. And you got to think, when I first went to the States, the ball that I was using, the ball that I used in one of my first tournaments out there, which I've still got that ball because I got a hole in one with it, with the 4-iron in that set, it was a Tour Prestige. So it was before the Pro V. Well, the Pro V must have just been launched, but we weren't using it. Certainly I wasn't using it. It was a new ball. It was a big shift for a lot of us. So I was using a Tour Prestige ball, which was it was a beautiful golf ball. It was very soft. You had Tour Professional, you had Tour Bellata, Tour Professional, Tour Prestige, and then we went into the Pro V1 golf ball. And the game of golf has shifted massively. It was more about, okay, yes, you needed to get it out there as far as you could, but it was a lot of shot shaping going on. Those golf balls, you could really move them. They would flight very differently to what we see out of the modern day golf ball. So yeah, the game has shifted, and even with the irons that I'm using there now, you know, if you compare them to modern day irons, they they were all about, not just about distance, but they were all about controlling your golf ball. And I feel like we've lost that art a little bit. You know, I do feel like we've lost it, just a fraction. I remember a friend of mine who'd probably be watching this video now. I was best man at his wedding, a guy called Adam Drake, with juniors up here. And I remember being in a Sunday junior event, and he stood here with his driver, which I think was an old, I want to say it was maybe an old Callaway, probably had in the bag. And he's launched his first tee shot. It's gone way out of bounds. He was a big drawer of the golf ball. Next tee shot, he's driven it onto the green to about 4 foot and knocked it in for his par. So, you know, you talk about old tech. You know, that was when I was a junior, so that was before this. So the tech was out there to hit it far enough. If that gets a run, if that lands where I'm hoping it's going to land and gets a kick forward, you know, that's not bad, is it? That is just a chip up the green. If I've got half a short game, that's going to get us back to 4. Here we are then, just at the mouth of the green. This needs just a little, I'm going with a little pitching wedge, and I'm going to skip it up. And I'm thinking that I want to land it, no, where I want to end up is just a little bit right of that flag, which the contours should take us there anyway. I want it a little bit right, which is going to leave me that uphill putt if we can get it. Skip. That is pretty much where I wanted it to be. Not bad. Got it working a little bit off my right hand side. As it said, it's uphill, but you can feel the greens have dried out a little bit now with the sun. There's no real moisture on them. So uphill putt, little out the right. Let's roll one. Come on. The fight. Do you know? I know it sounded great, but I did catch it a little bit thin. I thought, no, there's no ball speed off this club if it's not out the middle. Bit thin, but it still managed to get that little bit of topspin and dropped in. Back to 4. Par 5 then, we need a big un. Come on, DH. We need a big un, and that wind has picked up, but I feel like it's behind us. Yes. Go forward. Go forward, ball. I feel like I've found my calling with this club now, as in like I've figured out how to work it, because the flight is just more of a lower, more penetrating flight. So when it lands, it's going to scoot forward rather than the modern stuff, which goes up with low spin and then rides it. So once you figure it out, it makes it a lot easier. The big dog is out again. Got a bit lucky here because we're in the kind of semi-cut, and because the grass is lying kind of with us, it means I can get access onto this ball. Got 260 yards to the bunkers down there. So, you know, I'm feeling, I think we've hit the world-class shot into 6 today, didn't we, with this off the deck? Let's see if we can repeat that. No, not got it. Oh, is that trap in the right-hand side? Get lucky. Oh, it did. Oh, I got lucky. It hopped that bunker. It hopped the trap. And there's a chance of a little flick. Back pin as well, so we've got loads of green to work with. Chip and a putt. Right, here we go then. Little sand wedge off a nice little lie off an upslope, which isn't bad. I just want to make sure that we try and get the same reaction that we've had all the way around with this club, which is a kick forward. It'd be good. Go on, down you go, down you go, down you go. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, one roll, I reckon. One roll and that was in. One roll. This club is starting to grip more, isn't it? Just one more roll, DH. Who would have thought this? For those of you that have stayed tuned with me and are still with me for the fight back, we are back to 3 over par. We got to 6 at the turn and we're back to 3. Can you believe it? The 15th hole then. Here we go. Oh, that went down, didn't it? I need a very lucky bounce on that one. Oh, I got it as well though. You know, you need some luck in this game because it will take more from you than it will give you. And when it does give you something, you just accept it, all right? People playing with you might take the mickey a little bit and just call you lucky, but you've got to accept it. Take all the luck you can get. So my college days weren't all singing, all dancing, you know. I had some, I wasn't the most academic, should we say. So it was a real challenge for me to even sort of just get into university and do I had to do this SAT exam and things like that, and I didn't do great, but I just got enough to kind of get me there. My first year, and this is a message for all you golfers out there that are looking at maybe college golf or even college golf in the UK, is that studies are important, because my first year I was just playing golf. You know, I did a little bit of study and went to the classes and made sure I attended, but I was playing golf. I didn't really study a great deal at home, and I barely got through. College coach sat me down. I nearly rolled over the ball there. She sat me down and said, "Look, you know, Dan, if you don't pull your finger out, you're never going to get a chance to play, because ultimately they can bench you if you're not studying. If your grades aren't up to a high enough level, they'll bench you. You will not play." So I had to do some serious work to make sure I kept playing on the team. 114 yards we got to play with. Was that with slope, did you say? Yeah, with slope. Okay, so got a bit of tree trouble here, so I've got to, if I go up too early, then I'm going to hit this tree in front of me, so I've got to keep it a little left of that flag. I'm going to just open up a pitching wedge a little bit here. I'm going to play it not dissimilar to what I had into the 7th hole, which was, I think, the right yardage. I just don't want to get too much of a jumper, but I don't want to get too soft that we end up shortening that trap, you know. Go forward. Oh no, that's way short. That's way short. I really misjudged that. It's just not knowing the numbers, you know. You need to know your yardages, because that should have been plenty of club for 114 yards. That pitching wedge should have been plenty, but I've just not given it enough. Anyway, we'll see. I don't think I'm putting either. I think I'm chipping. Poor, innit? That was poor. Like, I could have gone more fuller kind of shot in with that pitching wedge. I'm quite surprised that it actually only got to there though. You'd think it would have kicked it forward a little bit off that back of that bunker. Right, little push forward with a pitching wedge. Steady, steady. Okay, just the lie, wasn't it, really? I think the lie was just because it was so sat down, it's got no spin on it. You can't get a lot of control out of that. That's why you'd see more sort of tall players getting their more lofted clubs out, 56s, something like that, get a bit more steeper on it. Steeper angle of attack gives you a bit more spin control. Okay, this has got a little swing out of the right. Yes, sir. Right. Okay, nice little par. I always, you know, one of those shots where it wasn't the easiest second shot in, and on the tee, if you'd have said, right, give your par and run away, I would have taken my par on that particular hole. But yeah, so still 3 over, still got that momentum, still got the bit between my teeth, and I've still got 16 and I've still got 18 that are good birdie opportunities. Joe and I just off camera just chatting about my my putting there, and he just said you've really got the putter rolling now, which he's right. I do. I've got a bit of confidence with it, but I think because psychologically I know that putter is a little bit lacking MOI, it's a little bit lacking stability. I'm really zoned in on trying to strike the middle of the putter, which is obviously important, something I don't really think about when I'm using my Scotty, you know. So positive stuff. Oh, the positive vibes, Joe. There's a lot of that going on right now. But I'll tell you what would be good is a nice bomber down here to really give us a chance. a little wafty, if I'm honest. It's a little bit toey and a little bit high on the face, but it's a fairway found, isn't it? Just missed the fairway, just off the right side. Smallest fairway in the world. It's more of a path, I would say. 89 yards, that flag. It's a nasty pin because it's right on the front. So I got my sand wedge. I don't really, it all kicks in off the middle of that green, so more centre would be good. Get down. Yeah, just thrown it a bit far, really. Way too far. It went a long way, that, considering I didn't really give it a good whack. Anyway, it's putting, which is positive. Yeah, it wasn't the easiest pin, was it, to get to? Kind of a frontish pin on this hole is not easy because it's all, you're landing on a bit of it kicks it down this way forward, so it's kind of slopes from front to middle, and then it sort of goes up again at the back. Stay up. It's gone heavy. Went heavy on me. That's a shame. It just went early. I probably just didn't quite trust it enough, thinking that it would maybe flatten out, you know, really flat at the end. So I've not probably just given it quite enough there. It's a par. It's the one that we wanted. I feel like I've given that one away a little bit there. Probably that one and 11, the two giveaway holes. But we're doing better than we were after 9. 17th hole then, par 3. It's 162 to that flag. And we've got some really tough flags out here today, to be fair, but it's tucked right in behind that trap. I've got to carry it 150 to get over the trap, but it's 162 to the flag. Normally, I would say 7 iron was the number. I'm going to go with 7 because I only need to carry the trap, really. Not that, ideally, I'm not really looking at that flag, if I'm honest, but let's go with 7 and just see what happens here. Yeah, I tugged it a little bit. I didn't really want to look at that flag. Sit down. Yeah, it's not my best. It's not my best. It's a tough flag for me to kind of get at, really. Be a tough 2-putt, but at least we're putting. Right, this is tricky because I've got this huge shelf just behind that flag. Get this wrong and you are down the bottom of that. It's a nasty pin. One of the greenkeepers was a little bit upset this morning putting these out, wasn't he? Steady now, steady. God, look at it go. Stop. Stop. Oof. Nasty. Should have read a little bit of it as it kind of worked its way down the slope here. Moving out of that right hand side. Gosh, this putter could end up in my bag, you know. It could end up, I don't know why I ever took it out. Why would you take this out of the bag? Well, we've made it to the final hole. What a challenge this has been today. I gotta say, this has been tough. Felt tough, mentally it's been tough. Trying to bounce your way back from a what could have been a bit of an embarrassing score. I just want to take this opportunity to thank those that have stuck with us all the way through this vlog. I appreciate you guys all sticking with the longer vlogs. We were talking about it earlier, like how part 3, 4, 5, 6 part vlogs were really good for the channel, but then we saw massive drop-offs with it, so I do appreciate you sticking with me. 18th then. Could we get a nice birdie to finish? Wouldn't that be nice? Up the left, let it feed back a little bit, just like you've been hitting this all day. Miss the trees, miss the bunker. Don't know. There's a set of traps up there on the right hand side which it could be flirting with that lot, but I know I've been in them many times over the years. This isn't ideal, really not ideal. I've got 87, 85 yards, that flag, pins at the front. It's a bit hit and hope, isn't it? I kind of need to be just gripping down and I need to nip it off the top if I can and pray that we get the strike that we're looking for. Not got it. Not got it, and that could be birdie. out the old window. Ah, what a shame that tee shot ended up in there. That is a shame. Ah, okay, not a great lie if I'm honest. It's I can't land this on the green, as you've seen with this club today. It's not got the spin and control that I've been used to, so we've got to just play a bit of roulette with the right side and let it feed down there. That's going big, I think. Sit. Ah, look at there's no control. There is no control with these wedges. Yeah, I feel like today the one club that I would be kind of, I suppose, not happy with out of the bag, because I think the rest of it's pretty good. There's just one club in there that I feel like it's probably maybe just let me down a fraction, is maybe that sand wedge. I think if I had some, you know, wedges that were similar to what I use now, then I may have scored just a couple of shots better, because it's just not, I've not got the control, have I, with it? No real, the spin's not there, the consistency of the spin. It's low. Always low. Well, it was a fight, wasn't it? It was a fight to get us back to that 2 or 3 over par, but it's 4 over, which, if you'd have said to me, Dan, I'll give you 4 over after 9 holes, I would have probably taken it. Well, that was a fantastic day down memory lane, looking at the clubs that I used when I was a little bit younger and a little bit, probably a bit more powerful. The irons I could definitely use. I think that wedge, probably I'd need to up my game with my wedges. The driver could work really well as probably a mini driver, and the putter, well, I could definitely put that in the bag. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. A big thank you to you for sticking with me, and I'll see you again on the next video.